Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into some incredibly practical source material all about building a rock-solid financial safety net. We're going to break down a really structured, totally doable plan to build a $10,000 emergency fund fast. And yes, this is absolutely possible even if you're currently working with a lower income. I am super excited to unpack this with you because we're taking these expert strategies and turning them into an effortless game plan.
Right off the bat, let's just imagine a scenario. What if your car broke down today, like literally right now, and you needed $2,000 just to get it fixed and back on the road? Take a second and really think about how that would hit you. For a lot of us, that is a genuinely terrifying thought.
And there's a reason it's so scary. The data shows that 56% of Americans actually cannot cover a $1,000 emergency without going into debt. That means over half the population is living right on that razor's edge. You know, where one unexpected medical bill or a sudden breakdown means turning straight to credit cards. But, well, we're going to flip that script entirely today.
So here is our roadmap to get you out of that 56%. We'll cover the emergency fund crisis, target and separate your money, automate and cut back, windfalls and side hustles, and finally, how to track your financial success.
Okay, let's jump straight into part one, the emergency fund crisis, facing the numbers.
Zooming out for a second, financial experts generally recommend stashing away 3 to 6 months of living expenses. For the average American, that math comes out to somewhere between $8,000 and $15,000. Now I hear you. Staring at a $15,000 target can feel incredibly overwhelming, especially if you're starting from scratch. But listen, do not let that number freak you out. The absolute worst thing you can do is just freeze up because the summit looks way too high.
Which brings us perfectly to part two. Target and separate your money, setting up for success.
What's really brilliant about this approach is how it totally hacks the psychology of saving. We're not staring at a giant $10,000 mountain anymore. We're breaking it down into mini goals. Step one, just get to $1,000. That is your immediate buffer against credit card debt for those little emergencies. Once you hit that, you push for $2,500, then $5,000. Then $10,000. It's all about small wins, because small wins trigger dopamine, keep your motivation sky high, and eventually build massive results.
But you might be wondering, where exactly do you stash this money as it grows? This is absolutely crucial. You've got to open a separate, high-yield savings account. If you leave your emergency fund sitting in your regular, everyday checking account, the temptation to spend it is just always going to be there. You got to separate it, out of sight, out of mind. Plus, the best part? High-yield accounts from places like Marcus or Ally Bank are paying up to 5% interest right now. That means your money is literally growing while you sleep, completely risk-free.
All right, moving right along to part three, automate and cut back, building effortless momentum.
This step is all about putting things on autopilot. You want to set up an automatic transfer straight from your checking to your savings every single payday. The source recommends starting with just $50 a paycheck. Break that down and it's only $25 a week. That's literally less than the cost of grabbing dinner out. But by automating it, in just 1 year, you'll stash away $1,200 without even trying. And if you bump that up by just $25 every few months, you'll hit your big goal way faster than you think.
Now what if you're thinking, I don't even have an extra $25 a week? Well, chew on this number for a second, $1,100. Any guesses what that is? That is exactly what the average American spends every single year purely on coffee.
And that perfectly illustrates our next step, cutting just one big expense this month. Take a hard look at your statements and find just one thing to slash. Maybe it's that giant cable bill or the gym membership you never actually use. Or, yeah, maybe it's that $1,100 coffee habit. Redirecting that one specific expense straight into your emergency fund can seriously shave months or even years off your timeline.
Okay, let's shift gears and really accelerate things. Part 4. Windfalls and side hustles. Accelerating the climb.
This is how we supercharge the process, using windfalls wisely. Anytime you get unexpected cash, like a bonus, a birthday check, or a tax refund, you need a hard rule. And that rule is 50% goes straight to savings. Let's do the math on a windfall. The average tax refund is around $3,000. If you drop that whole thing into your emergency fund, boom, you are instantly 30% of the way to your 10 grand goal in a single day. Even if you just stick to the 50% rule and save $1,500, that is still a massive leap forward.
The other huge accelerator is starting a side hustle specifically designed for this fund.
The trick is to pick something simple and funnel 100% of that extra cash into savings. Sell some stuff gathering dust around the house, drive for a food delivery app on the weekends, or do some freelancing. Even if you only pull in an extra $200 or $300 a month, throwing all of it into that high-yield account means you'll hit that fully funded $10,000 mark in less than 3 years.
Finally, we are in the home stretch. Part 5. Track your financial success, the final push.
There's actually a super fascinating psychological trick from our source material that makes all this feel effortless. 42%. Studies show that folks who actively track their savings goals are 42% more likely to actually hit them. It's just human nature. We absolutely thrive on seeing visible progress.
So the final step is to track your progress every single week. Grab a free budgeting app like Mint or YNAB, or just make a simple tracker on your phone. Get into the habit of checking your balance weekly to celebrate those mini milestones we talked about. Seeing that number climb week after week is seriously the ultimate motivation. It turns saving money from a stressful chore into a highly addictive game.
I want to wrap up with a really empowering philosophy straight from our source today. You do not need a high salary to build financial security. You just need a plan and the discipline to stick to it. We've just walked through those exact steps to build your plan. You can honestly start today with just $50 and watch it snowball into real life-changing security.
So here's my final question for you. Looking at the plan we just laid out, which step are you going to start with today? Don't wait around for tomorrow. Don't wait for a New Year's resolution. Take one tiny, actionable step right now to protect your future. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I seriously cannot wait to see you crush those financial goals.